I was in the living room and I was eating mushrooms, okay? I didn't like them. The next day, okay, I was still in the living room eating mushrooms and I liked them. I was so confused. Like, the first day, I was the one who made the mushrooms. The second day, my mother made the mushrooms. And I was, what? Why is this? What did she do better than I did? What is the thing I'm not doing that makes the mushroom taste good? I was so intrigued. At the beginning, I thought it was some ingredient I didn't add. Like, she added garlic and parsley. At least, no, maybe not garlic. She made them with olive oil. I made it with butter, maybe. That may be the thing, right? And she added parsley, some herb I didn't add. I tried to do the same thing, okay? So I tried to copy her ingredients, go in the kitchen, make the mushrooms, taste them, still hate them. I still don't like my mushrooms. Like, why is this happening, okay? I don't get it. I added olive oil, I added the same ingredients my mother used. A few months later, I remake the mushrooms, okay? This time, though, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I am about to do and what I'm about to add to make the thing taste good, okay? It was around the time I discovered why we like food and I applied the pleasure hypothesis, so I was applying the main 6 pillar. I only knew 5 at the time, but I was using the pillars, and I also did something, okay, that I usually didn't do, and that led me to understand why cooking makes things good. So I changed a few things. First of all, I didn't care about what fat I was using, so I still use butter. This time, okay, I remember to add salt, like enough salt, but most importantly, okay, I cooked longer. I literally like cooked the mushrooms longer than you think, like longer than you expect. I usually, you know, when they look about ready, okay, that's the time exactly. This is exactly the time. That is exactly the time you have to keep cooking, okay? I saw my mushrooms that basically shrunk down to a small size, and I was like, okay, interesting. I guess I can eat them now because they shrunk, so they've cooked. And that is exactly the time you have to cook them longer. When you feel they are ready, okay, you cook them longer. It's kind of strange. I did an experiment. I think I also posted the video. It's basically I called it fried umami. Okay, mushrooms are known, okay, very known to have a lot of savoriness. Okay, which is the umami pillar. And I did cook like the mushrooms for longer than I usually do. They were really like small. Okay, but bro, they were one of the most savory things I've ate in my life. Okay, so yeah, I mean, mushrooms are known to be savory, and the more you cook them, the more I cooked them, the more they were savory, and that shocked me. Okay, and this was like a few weeks ago, but already like a few months ago, a few years ago, when I made that experience that if you cook mushrooms longer, they taste better. I already basically discovered that if you cook things longer, they taste better. And the reason is that when you cook something longer, okay, I don't know the science, maybe there is some reaction happening, and I don't fucking know, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I guess for mushrooms, there is some science behind it, like even dried mushrooms have more umami than the mushroom itself, and not because it just concentrates, because I think there is some chemical shit happening. How I see it, okay, and this goes for most foods, is that the more you cook something, the more you digest it, okay? And as we all know, like the pleasure hypothesis is that consists of fat, salt, umami, acidity, sweetness, and digestibility. Digestibility being, in my opinion, the most important pillar, okay? That's the reason you like bland bread, okay? You can eat bread without nothing. You really like digestible shit, and the more you cook, the more things like become digestible, basically. Think about a potato. Do you like a potato? Like, would you bite a potato? I mean, you can, I guess. It's kind of strange. I know people who do. Well, if you boil the potato, okay, if you bake the potato, even better. You kind of like that now. You eat it and you this fucking tastes good, okay? Because you are digesting the potato. It was not very edible before. Now you are cooking it, and now you are eating it, and now it is just tastes better and you just like it more. Okay, I don't like the raw potatoes. So yeah, the more you cook something, the more digestible it becomes. And yeah, this is kind of a thing I'm trying to implement more in my cooking. Obviously, sometimes it's better not to overcook stuff. Maybe you're trying to. I honestly, I don't know if there is any case in which you should not cook things for longer. I mean, I usually go a step before it burns, okay? A bit risky, yeah, but I think we are also overestimating the amount of time it takes to burn something, meaning we are more scared than we should to burn things. We think that if you cook that for 2 minutes more, it will burn. Well, you can cook it for half an hour, okay? So yeah, just find the limit yourself. You just do this by trying and experimenting. You don't necessarily have to burn your food to understand where the limits are. Just like go a little bit further every time, and you will reach a point where you can see, like you can taste the food tasting better. And yeah, that is kind of it. Today I'm cooking mushrooms, coincidentally, and chicken and cream. They are all great ingredients. They fall in the category of the good tasting food according to the pleasure hypothesis, because they have salt, fat, umami from the mushrooms. And in this case, for example, if you noticed, before adding the cream, okay, before adding the fat and I basically, so you have to understand, cream is not just fat, it is also water, okay? It's not purely butter or clarified butter, it is also water. So when you put something that has water in it, you go into the realm of wet cooking, okay? There is dry cooking and wet cooking. Wet cooking is like literally anything that involves water, okay? If there is water, you're wet cooking. If there is not water, meaning there is fat is not water. If olive oil, it's not, there is no water in there, it's all fat. I know it sounds strange. I've had many times this belief that if something is liquid, if something you can, if it is something you can pour, it means it is liquid, it means that it is water. It is actually not always like that. Think of mercury, that's metal, still liquid. There is no water in there. Same goes for fat, okay? Butter, olive oil, there is no water, it's purely fat, okay? Like 9 kilocalories for 1 gram, like pure fat, okay? Cream is not pure fat. Butter, clarified butter to be precise, is pure fat. When you're cooking something is in fat, okay, being lard, olive oil, you're not wet cooking, you're dry cooking. When you're dry cooking, okay, you basically enable the food to brown, okay? And browning is huge. Browning like enhances most of the pillars. It enhances the sweetness, it enhances umami. Also makes the food digestible because you break things down more. I mean, also wet cooking breaks down things more, but that's the side point. The point is that before adding the water component to my food, I thought it would be a good idea, and it is, to have some browning happening. Honestly, I didn't wait too much. I could have waited a bit more, but I didn't want to make it very, very, flavorful. I don't care. It's okay if it's a little bit more bland than the optimal outcome I could have achieved. So I took it out. Sorry, not sorry. I cooked it more, and I added the cream later, and that was great. I mean, not only this was tasty, the best part is that I didn't even have to think about it. Like, this is one of the meals. I mean, this is like all my meals. I don't think about them. Like, I just take ingredients, put them together, cook them, and just wait. Okay, it's not like I'm using brain power. It's just all automatic. I literally threw the chicken in the pan, not because I want to seem cool or want to make a scene, not because this is literally all it matters. Okay, you're just cooking meat. I used to bro, this is huge. I used to stress so fucking much about placing the meat in the perfect like size. Like, I was trying to literally like fit all the slices of meat in the pan perfectly. Like, I gotta give the same amount of space to the meat, and I know it will shrink, okay, because when you cook meat it shrinks, and I was predicting the shrinking, so I was placing the meat a bit overlapping so that it kind of but I was making things so precise, okay, without realizing that, okay, basically when you cook stuff, it kind of separates, not like it sticks. So you can maybe cook a piece of meat before, and then you can add it. Doesn't change much, okay? You can just throw the chicken like I did. That doesn't change much, because like the slices of meat will like separate and they will cook evenly. Like as you saw, I don't know, bro. Like this overthinking is what I think you can really shortcut. Like you can really learn from my mistakes and take advantage of these kind of lessons I'm giving you. And do not stress. This is one of the things I learned. Do not stress over placing the things in the pan. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Like I'm very autistic about this. I'm very perfectionist. Maybe you are not, and that's great. But if you are like me, a little bit, try to give it less importance, because it really isn't. And yeah, like if you noticed, I also added a carrot, okay? I don't know, I just had a carrot, I added it. No, not even thinking about it. It turned out to be a great fit in there, okay? Usually, okay, I know this is a recipe. I didn't follow a recipe this time, but I know it is like a very common thing to do, to eat mushrooms, cream, and chicken, like very specific. These three items combined are I think are a really good known recipe all around the world. But you know, since I was not following the recipe, I felt free to add a carrot, to add whatever the fuck I wanted, and it turned out to be a great fit, to be honest. And yeah, this is how you should cook, by just by following. If you have the at least 4 or 3 pillars, okay, of the pleasure hypothesis, bro, you're good to go, okay? In this case, we had umami, saltiness, fattiness. They were 3, I guess. I mean, there is also a little bit sweetness because I added carrot, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I also had acidity because at the end I added sauerkrauts, okay? Those pink stuff, okay, is a sauerkraut I made. Bro, they were great. They were absolutely great. Yeah, so try to adopt this mindset when you cook. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate the ingredient insertion. Like just put everything together, cook it a little bit more if you want, if you feel safe doing it. Just stay there. If you raise the heat, as you saw in this video, as when I rose the heat, I was not going around, I was not going the other room doing other stuff. I was there scraping the stuff, because I know that if you are using high heat, you maybe want to have a high focus, a high attention to the thing you're cooking. If you want to go away, just put low heat, cover it with a lid maybe. But basically the lid allows the water to not escape. And remember, when there is water, it is less likely to burn, okay? Because you're doing wet cooking. If you're doing dry cooking, it is a little bit easier to burn. It's also important to say that if you're using dry heat, you allow the browning reaction to happen, okay, the Maillard reaction, and that makes your food taste better. So yeah, just try to balance the two things. Or you know what, just don't balance anything and just go cook something for yourself. This is what I'm trying to convey to the people. And yeah, I hope you found my little nuggets of knowledge helpful. I hope you will use them in your everyday cooking. And yeah, I just hope you start cooking yourself healthy shit and not eat packaged food. That's all I want for my viewers.
Thank you.